Good evening. Third time's a charm. I am your host, Nick. I guess the wire came unplugged on the microphone, unbeknownst to moi. How are you? How are you feeling? Welcome. Tonight, very special off-season episode, Jets off-season predictions, and I will be joined by the great Buffalo Jet fan. He will be here shortly. Let's get this going. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And let's get this started in here. Microphone doesn't work. What the fuck?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Gentry covered in fumble.
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky.
Who, me?
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.
Good evening. Welcome to Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm your host, Nick.
When the blitz comes, there's no one to block him.
It's 10 o'clock, get ready for the showdown. 9 toes down, Nick, ready for the throwdown. We proud Jets fans, we don't play with them pronouns. Best roster in the league, we playing with the pros now. They tell us slow down, call us delusional, call us losers as usual. But this season will be beautiful. Shotgun with you know who, but run it instead. Let Hall hit the hole hard.
That's what she said.
Ground and pound like it's 2010. The chat, we got many friends. Johnny wearing hats for super chat and watch him breathe again. Nick put the link so Bobby can call and speak again. Bonesy did the blunt, I got the weed and pens. We speaking green again. Jets news like it's CNN. A-Rod and Charles Gorman, it's like we seeing twins. Feeding tins, pounding on these bleeding fins. Week 14 and 18 when they needing wins. They ain't seeing them. We run the ball and play defense. This is AFC hell where the teams repent. Ladies and gents, welcome to MetLife. This is Jet Life. We bleed green, this our best life. We just nice.
Let's say what's up to everyone. Dark Soldier's here. Johnny's in the house. Bobby. Mr. Bonesy's out on the prowl. Na-na-na-na. Jaden's here. 3 Siblings is here. Adirondack Fly Guy's in the house. Sith My Suicide is here. Rob B. Stack's here. Clancy's in the house. The lovely Leanie's in the house. Alan is here. Welcome, Addy. Dave Brigga is here. And Boomtown's the mic drop at the end of the show. He can't be defeated. He can't be stopped.
When the blitz comes, there's no one to block him.
Old man interneting. Not in that. And let's paste this. What are we doing here? What's this being so funky for? What the fuck? Why is this acting up? All right, one more.
Hey, Shiners. It's a party. My house. Discord party.
Let's go beat.
Yo, we at Sean's crib about to turn up. Music bumping, party jumping. Please someone fill my cup. We greet each other. Merry Christmas! And let the Jets suck while Bobby yells at Santa.
Shut the fuck up.
Then Gary intervenes and tells them don't be mean. Eat a stick of butter every day and you'll be lean. Then Santa runs off. I hope he left some gifts because Bobby scared him off. He's on the naughty list. This whole party's lit. Nate Clancy, many more. We hardly fit. And Addison and Weed bought that Marley spliff. I lick on my lips cause OJ energy make my heartbeat skip. Damn Charles Gorman, was that a far you ripped? Too much head in your the hot dogs and chips. Now I want my dip. Tell me where the hell is Santa? He ran so quick. I checked the bathroom and oh shit. With Denmark Andy, Santa, Rudolph. No wonder Rudolph. Andy, you promised me you wasn't gonna do that no more. Oh my God. You're gonna kick us out of here.
Gosh darn right I will. Shenanigans will not take place on my watch ever again. Made that mistake. What's up, everyone? Welcome. Sorry for the early start. Wanted to get in here. Wanted to play the videos because I know you guys, some of you, it's the only reason that you come here. And I thank you for that. If you're new here, please subscribe. It's a fun place. Talk a lot of Jets. Talk a lot of fun. Make fun of everybody. Mostly me. Let's say what's up before my guest joins me. Mark Ferraro is here. Stack is here, as always. Tom Ace. What's up, Tom? How you like me now? Looking so fresh and so clean. What about this? Oh, look, it's so soft. Not for long. Oh, it's hard now. Carly's here. Still hasn't packed the thing. Well, Carly, if you're going to Mexico on a bachelorette party, but breaking news, probably don't need much. Just bikini, evening gown, maybe less. I don't know. Never gone to a bachelor party out of the country or anywhere, anytime. But have a great time. Safe travels to you and all the ladies joining you. Jay Quest is here. Johnny Boy's here. BC is here. Hello, BC. Clancy's here. Explosive Diarrhea is here. What's up, Weed? Mike Kazak is here. I had to wait for the name to pop. Who else we got? Rob V's in the house. Let's go. Connor Long. Hello, Connor. Mr. Wildwave is here. J3 Siblings jetting up. Still jetting up. Wants Rogers to jet out, but he's jetting up. I agree with him. Who else we got here? Speed round. Pew, 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 pew. Jay Graves, a.k.a. the Wiener Lady. Connor, earmuffs, please. Who else we got? K-Brock is here. What's up, K-Brock? Who else? I'm trying to speed through. Ricky, New York. Live. Not taped. Live. Big Islanders fan. Well, let me welcome all of you. For those of you that may have missed last night, we have some new news going on with the Discord group. The Discord group is going to be just for those people who sign up for repetitive payments as members of the channel. Here's why. With people gifting and people expiring, I don't want to worry about or ask people to maintain who's a member, who's not. And I just feel that it's at the point where if you're going to pay out of pocket, you should have the exclusive access. So we're going to let that run for a couple weeks, probably 2 weeks, and let everybody get the opportunity to join. And then we'll go from there. And then unfortunately we'll have to start cutting it down. Yeah, that's what we came up with. Sorry, Jay. But it's too many people rotating and they're not, or they don't re-up, or they don't participate. At least if you're a paying member on auto repay, I know A, you give a damn, B, you want to be there, and C, you're supporting the channel. So I think that's fair. I think that's a fair way to do it. You know, I don't want too many people in there, but I think that's the best course of action to go with. Let me see if this link works. Why is that posting that? I hate typing more than Bobby. I just don't say it. All right. So, how are you guys doing? How's everyone feeling? All right. Let me do something here. All right. You win. You get another video. The link's not working. Hold on.
It's got beef.
Gentry covered the fumble.
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the hope with the most, Nicky.
Who, me?
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.
I'm back. Jerome, hello. And I owe you an apology. My vision is so bad, I've been calling you Jerome Stacks for a very long time. And then I saw the comment without my glasses on the phone, and I was like, there's an R? So, Jerome Strax, welcome. And my apologies for being an old man. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I meant no disrespect. All right, did it? All right, Clancy. All right, now we got a little controversy going on in the chat. Is that okay? God. All right, Jerome, you got me. I saw it the other day, and I'm like, I've been saying this guy's name wrong forever. You would have done it without the haircut. What's up? What's up, man? Old man interneting. What's up, ladies? All right. That's popping. Let's see what we got here. I'm in a good mood today. Had a vacation day. So what do we do when we're in a good mood here? We share. We gift. I gift. You receive. That's how we start the show off. It's just my little way of saying thank you to all of you who participate in the channel and a little way that I can give back to all of you great SOBs. It's a compliment on this channel. And it went to Mother Effin' Chew. Mother Effin' Chew, how about you? We got some Mother Effin' Chew, where are you? All right. That should work. I don't know why I wasn't able to do that. I'm in a good mood because the gifted memberships are attaching. That's great. It's very good. It's a good sign for all when things are working correctly. That's what she said. Please don't forget, once my guest joins me, super chats. If you got any questions, want to get on air, guaranteed to get your question on air. It's a great way to do it and support the channel. Gifted memberships, you know that will bring the show to an absolute halt. And where will it take this channel?
To infinity and beyond.
It's just pretty much how it goes. For those of you like Jay Quest who were asking, when are we doing the weigh-in? Well, I'm going to tell you when we're going to do the weigh-in. We're going to do the weigh-in tomorrow, allegedly. Mr. Bobby Midnight has been under the weather. Not so much under the weather that he couldn't call into Jake's show yesterday and argue, or call in again today, or have his own show today. He's just so much under the weather that he couldn't take a picture of the scale. Controversy? Has he gained weight? Is he ashamed to say it? Dun, dun, dun. Tune in tomorrow. We'll find out. We will find out what it be, who it be. Ladies and gentlemen, previously aforementioned Ricky New York Live has gifted a membership. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate you, sir. And it went to Big Steve. Big Steve is in the mix now. Thank you. Thank you, Ricky. You're the man. Stay fly, my guy. Stop smoking cigarettes. I'm always going to keep yelling at you about that. For those of you watching and asking, why does it still say proud NYJ fan membership? I'll tell you why. StreamYard is still linked to that. I tried to delete it and relink it to the Nick Shine show, but behind the scenes, it hasn't changed yet. So it's a little bit of nostalgia. It's okay to have nostalgia. Nostalgia is fun. But thank you, Rick. I appreciate you, sir. Just send me the picture, Tom. At this point, just send me the picture. Like, we don't have to do a whole 2-hour show. Send me the picture. I'll announce it. You're feeling better next week. We'll get you back on Tuesday. But I think it's fair to keep everybody updated who is curious. And as a Jet fan, I will say this. I am hoping to see the Drew Aller show tomorrow night. Need another quarterback to declare. Why? Because at 7, it would be really nice to have 3 quarterbacks that go before us. Travis Hunter makes 4. Maybe Tat McMillan makes 5. And then you got your choice of Graham and Carter. I don't care who wins the game. I'm not rooting for Penn State, Clancy. I just want to see the Drew Aller show. I want Aller to play so well enough he declares. Win or lose, just be a dog tomorrow night. You know, like I said, you told everybody you're not available. How do you make yourself available? You go play like a monster and say, all right, I am ready for the NFL. So as a Jet fan, that means a lot more to me than the result of the game. I don't give a damn about the game. Go be a dog. Go be a dog tomorrow night. Whenever you're in trouble, just throw it to Warren. I will say something I never thought I would say. And it goes a little something like this. I can't believe I'm considering 3 Penn State guys in round 1. And would be happy. I've never been a Penn State fan. There's been players that come through that you appreciate. I'm not a Penn State fan, but if Drew Aller declares, I would love Drew Aller to come sit for a year or the most part of a year. Abdul Carter's there? Yes, please. No brainer. Get me him. Get me a creative defensive mind that will free him up to get him in space and running after the quarterback. Him, JJ, Will, Quinnen, love it. Love that. Now that's a turbo package. And Tyler Warren, the tight end. I don't know if I take him at 7, but bump back a little bit, get an extra 2. Okay. I wouldn't mind that at all. We solidify some defensive tackles. You get a defensive tackle, you get a safety, you get a corner in free agency, you get a wide receiver, and then I'm okay. I'm okay then. If we go running back room is good. You get a veteran receiver to come in. There's veterans that bounce around all the time. You don't need to go pay $11 million to Alan Lazard. There's plenty of players that you can get. There's always a Brandon Cooks bouncing around, a Hollywood Brown. There's guys out there who will be cheap and can come here and play and contribute. Do we have a Gormani update from his day at Wiggles? For those of you who missed it on the morning show with Jake, I had a vacation day today, utilized it tremendously. Stopped over to see Charles at a nice little diner restaurant that I never been to. It's small little place in Fords, but ran into 3 people that I knew there aside from Charles and his brother. One of the guys I've known for years for basketball, and then one of the guys who's a custodian in town, retired, and I was always coming to the elementary school I was at because his granddaughter goes there. And we did not go. I asked Charles if him and his brother needed a ride home, and he said, no, thank you. My brother drove here, so I didn't want to split them up and take Charles. I didn't think that was right to do, so I told Charles another day. We'll go out February 1st, bowling, and then fun time. Stay tuned. Maybe. Fun time first, then bowling. Afternoon fun time. Dun, dun, dun. Charles walks into the strip club, looks at a lady, and says, how much to make me Superman?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Many conversations start that way there. Many. Jojo, let me buy him a lap dance. I tell you what, if I lock it in, you can send for Charles. I'll put a Charles fund together. And from my understanding, when I was there in the afternoon, there's a price for everything. But I'm not saying where, because it's just hypotheticals on a YouTube show. It doesn't mean anything. Text me. Chris Curtis, my guy. What's up? Saw Chris last night. His little guys playing basketball in town. Grew up with Chris. We played Little League Baseball against one another in the early and mid 80s. It's my boy for a long time. Thanks for watching, Chris. If you guys are here and you are watching, please hit the like button. You know the rules. We get the 50 likes and we share the link for you savages to call in. I'm trying to see if this link is good that I sent the Buffalo Jet fan. I don't know why. It wasn't good at first. Hell yeah. Let me see what's going on. So I'm in Microsoft Edge, and I copied the link and sent it, and it doesn't go. Just says StreamYard. No link. I played the video. I go over to Chrome, send the link, and then post like it regularly does. And I'm waiting. Is it working? That's what she said. It's working. All right. Now it's just a matter of him seeing it, I guess. Okay. Oh, super chat. I missed it. 25 with a super chat. Career day for you today. Yeah. And hopefully more good things coming soon. All right. So while I'm waiting for Buffalo, Steve Spagnuolo, the Jets requested permission for him today. I'm a little surprised that he accepted it. I mean, I haven't heard he denied it, right? Or the Chiefs have denied it. I heard that yesterday immediately. The Bears requested permission to interview Mike McCarthy. Gets declined. I don't know why the Cowboys would decline that. You get a free out of Mike McCarthy, who you haven't won anything with, and you get compensation for it. Makes perfect sense. But Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones things, thinks he knows everything and will be so stubborn because he thinks his way is going to work, and it hasn't worked. since I was in high school dunking a basketball. I know it's a rough record, but is there a better coordinator in all of the game than Steve? I don't know, man. Belichick was bad with the Browns, right? Went and was a tremendous defensive coordinator, got a job, got the right quarterback, and the rest is history. I'm very impressed by Spags. I'm very impressed by his defense. We know how that defense looked a couple years ago, and now they basically just play field position games because they trust their defense so much to win. And then they've turned Mahomes into Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers. Don't lose the game, punt, play defense, give us one drive late if we need it, win the game. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy that they've turned Mahomes into Big Ben because of how good the defense is. And that's all Spags. I'm not saying Spags is my number one choice. I wouldn't be upset. When he was with the Rams, I think it was the Sam Bradford years. And that was when you were paying a rookie quarterback $70 million immediately before he even got in the league. That was the Jamarcus Russell, Sam Bradford years where before they put the rookie cap on. I wouldn't be upset about it. He's not my number one guy. But I wouldn't be upset if Spags was an option. And just think, for comparative, what he would do with Quinnen Williams with the way Chris Jones gets utilized. You got Jermaine Johnson there. You got speed with Will. It would be a little bit of a different scheme. Watch the Chiefs in the playoffs. Not this week, of course, because they have a bye again. But watch. Their defense will scheme guys open in the pass rush. They'll be aggressive up front. They'll blitz. You know, look at Bolton at middle linebacker. He is always free running around to make plays. You put Quincy in that role. Yeah, Bradford did win Rookie of the Year. Excuse me, hiccup. Always a hiccup when I do this show. One Rookie of the Year, his shoulder betrayed him. Yep. I don't know, guys. I sent the link. Such a diva. Maybe he's a diva just showing up fashionably late. Well, Rob, you're not getting him to leave for a lateral move. You're not. But a guy who's been around that long and a guy as well respected as him later in his career now with what he's done, maybe he's got the capability to get some high-end offensive coaches who want to work with him and want to make a name for themselves. Like I said, he's not my number one choice, but if we lose Flores, if we don't get McCown, if Vrabel goes to New England, which, all right, let's discuss that. I am on record as saying many times for many years that Boston is, and the whole region, is by far the most racist area in all of America. You hear the stories from athletes throughout the years, even from Boston players themselves that have been there. There is no way that anybody can look at the situation where they interviewed Hamilton and Leftwich yesterday, and now they bring in Vrabel today. They made a mockery of the Rooney Rule. They made an absolute mockery of the two guys they brought in for interviews. It was a spit in the face of the rule. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But let's be real. The New England Patriots are known for being cheaters. They're known for being willing to pay the fine to just get their way. What do they care? If they get Vrabel, they get Vrabel. It's a win. It's almost like fuck feelings. We're just going to do what we want to do. Who cares about your rules? Who cares about your feelings? We're just going to do this our way. I don't. Where's Diana Rossini? Where's all the reporters in the country with a backbone? Where's Stephen A. Smith? Where's all the African-American writers? How are you not calling this out as a complete mockery of a rule that's meant to make positive change, not to be a joke? And that's what the New England Patriots made of it. Sorry, just trying to. All right, logging on. Bloop, bloop. Should be here in a minute. Yeah. Well, where's ESPN? If ESPN wants to get on the Lamar and Josh Allen as the only two candidates for MVP starting in October, and they want to pump their agenda for months, where's your agenda now? Where's your backbone now? Hell yeah, Clancy. Way to reel me in. You nice. I don't get it. Hey, Stack, thank you. Pat M, the only one that said something in the news. How's not everybody not saying something? What happened to the moral high ground? What happened to decent reporting? Are you waiting to see if it's the contract offer tonight or tomorrow? That's fair. All right, maybe I'm jumping the gun here a little bit. But how? How are people not outraged that you double booked on the same day? You don't even give either of the candidates the decency of having their own day to then have Vrabel in the next day all by himself. Come on. Oh, were we born yesterday? Ladies and gentlemen, the diva has arrived. Are you good? You know him. You love him. I've known him for a very long time, and he is my good friend, the Buffalo Jet fan. What's up, sir?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. How you feeling?
About the Jets?
No, I want to talk about good things. How's the little one?
Good, man. Good. It's all good, man. You know, I think I'm glad the season is finally in the book, so we could be completely forward thinking. You know,
we're Jets
new
fans,
beginnings.
Man. We can never live in the moment. We always got to look ahead. We always got to hope, right? I said a couple months ago, the thing about us, as miserable as we get, as awful as it gets, as hurt as we are, as angry as we are, we're all going to collectively hit the reset button on one thing: hope. We're going to hope we get the right GM. We're going to hope we get the right head coach. We're going to hope that we get the right coordinators. We're going to hope whatever we want to happen with the quarterback. We're going to hope we get the right free agents. We are the most hopeful fans in the entire world. We're like the dog who runs up when the owner gets home all excited and gets kicked every time. And we never learn.
No.
We never learn from it.
Yeah, this year, I think even like, especially for you, because you're like perpetually optimistic. I was like, man, they broke Nick. They got my guy Ian Jet Central, like looking all skinny, recording videos in the dark. I'm like, it's just, they broke us, man. But yeah, I think it's like moving forward next year, just having no expectations could be nice, right? I think that's when they'll be good, right? If you think about even the pockets of when the Jets have been successful, even like the 2015 season, I don't know if you can call it successful, but whatever, 10 wins, kind of coming out of nowhere. It's when you count them out. That's when they're kind of they get a little spunky and they surprise you. But how you feeling about these coaches and GM searches? Did they interview you yet? I think they've interviewed every living person in the New Jersey area. So
I do get a missed call from a 201 area code, which is up near Florham Park. It's like northern Jersey at 8:10 the last 3 mornings, but it's like a spam call. But I'm about to answer it. Maybe it is. I know Florham Park's 973 because their ticket people have called me 20 times in the last 2 weeks. Shout out to JoJo Townsell, as you know, my favorite name of all time. Same situation with the happy ending. They ignore it. That has nothing to do with you coming on air. We were talking about the Patriots and no repercussions on Kraft and the sham of the interviews that they did to get Vrabel in. I was ranting about that before you joined us. But JoJo, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, that was pretty egregious. I mean, I think that look, obviously the rule doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. You know what I think is a really good rule is the incentive for comp picks for when you have minority coaches and GMs promoted to other teams. That is brilliant because that really that really motivates teams, and it actually rewards.
San Francisco got one with when we hired Saleh.
Yeah. No, San Francisco's has gotten a ton of those because they got one in a front office guy too got one. But if you're looking at the Patriots, like, okay, if they really want to hire Vrabel and they know that, what do you expect them to do? But man, that was the most egregious. It's so insulting to Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich, who aren't serious coaching candidates, but they are. I mean, they're like Byron Leftwich was a longtime NFL quarterback and an OC that won a Super Bowl. It's not like he's so to fly those guys out for a sham interview. That was probably the most.
Give them their own day. You don't even give them their own day. You're like,
they didn't even. Did you see the post they made? They gave them the same graphic, and it was like some 12-year-old made it on Canva. It is like the most minimal effort into it. So
I heard they ordered one lunch, and one guy started lunch, and then the other guy came in and got to pick from the scraps that was left over. They didn't want to do lunch and a dinner, so they're like, all right, we'll give you lunch, and then they like opened up the tins, like the second baked ziti tin they opened up for Hamilton or whoever went second. But just an absolute disgrace. And if we did that, it would be national stories everywhere. The Johnsons are a sham. His political affiliation is why it's happened. Like there would be story after it would be leading every news, not just sports news, everywhere that the Jets don't do. I mean, we don't have that, right? We're the only team, I think, to hire 3 minority coaches throughout history. Right, we got Herm, we got Bowles, and then Saleh. We've hired 3 minorities as head coaches, so you can't. I
believe Saleh was the first Muslim NFL head coach. I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So,
but we've hired 3 minorities. You can't say that about us. But if we did this sham of an interview process, we'd be lit up.
Well, people were pontificating that Saleh was let go because he wore the Lebanese patch and he was like, 17 and 146 or whatever, whenever, you know what I mean?
And he wore it the year before. Like Belichick wore Croatia. He wore Lebanon the year before. Why didn't he get fired the year before if it was such a big deal? You know what it is? People just aren't smart enough to remember what happened.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, is like the Jets have, what's weird about the Jets is there's so many real things to clown the Jets for. You don't got to make stuff up. They suck. the Jets give you plenty of their own ammunition, man. But that's the thing about those, like the athletic articles and stuff. It's like, man, it's like we get it. The Jets suck. Somebody dig into that.
Take a trip up 95 and go find out go interview Pep Hamilton, Byron Leftwich. You want a good story? It's written for you. Do you feel that the interview process was legit? Did you ever feel that you were a serious candidate? Did they shuffle you out the back door to bring in the other candidate through the front door? Like, how much of a sham was this? Did they already have Vrabel's contract written out on the desk waiting for the photo op the next day? Like, how bad was this?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. If the I think it was probably through and through obvious that it was not a real interview. I'm sure it felt just as as phony to them as their press clippings on the matter. But
Yeah.
anyway, screw them.
It was about as legit as my drinking days when I was on Tinder in the middle of the night seeing who would come out for a visit.
Was it Byron Leftwich?
Well, maybe in a wig one night. And I don't know. I liked them short, but that was like 6'4" with a wig. I don't know. Well, I know I got you for a little bit of time. Let's get into some off-season predictions.
Still, man.
Who do you think? Now, not who do you want.
Right.
Who do you think the Jets will end up getting as general manager? Who's dumb enough to work for the Johnsons?
With my GM prediction, it is kind of also what I want. With the head coach, it's a little bit different, but I do think it will be Borgonzi from the Chiefs. I think it'll be him. And the thing about the GM is the Jets are only one of two openings. So if somebody wants a promotion, it's us or it's Tennessee. And now Tennessee, you get the number 1 overall pick. So if someone really is smitten with Cam Ward, then that would definitely be a tiebreaker to make that a better job. But Tennessee has had, they've canned GMs and coaches left and right. They have a lot of issues with ownership, just like we do. And they were obviously a terrible team. That's why they have a number 1 overall pick. So it's not like there's a litany of jobs open. So I guess I'll go with Mike Borgonzi, the Kansas City Chiefs assistant executive.
All right. I'll take a different one for discussion purposes. I'm going to go with Thomas Dimitroff. He built a winner in Atlanta. They should have won it in Atlanta, right? Like if I was coaching, run. The ball would have never gotten in the air. Clock would have run out.
Yeah.
But he built a winner. They had a very talented team there while he was there. I think him being out of the game for a little bit and building relationships, maybe with the guys in the 33rd team, helps. And that voice in Woody's ear of Tannenbaum, I believe it's going to be whoever Tannenbaum wants and whoever Tannenbaum has the best relationship with, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going to recommend guys that he believes in, and he's going to only, in my opinion, recommend his friends. And I think him and Dimitroff both speak highly of one another for guys who've never really won anything. So that would be a guy that I keep my eye on. I don't want him. I'll take Borgonzi, but I think that's where we could end up.
Yeah, Dimitroff, in terms of experience and resume, there's a very high floor hire. The guy clearly knows what he's doing. He's not going to run your franchise completely into the ground, right? There's a high, let's not count anything out, but it seems like from his resume, there's a high floor. He was a GM for 12 years. And what's impressive about Dimitroff is he was it Smith was the coach before Quinn, I think, in Atlanta. I think it was Smith. So, and they had a good team there.
And they refused to use Robinson.
Right, but before that, who was the coach before Dan Quinn? Wasn't it
Arthur Smith?
No, that was after Dan Quinn. Who's
the coach now? Dan
Quinn. Dan Quinn, then went to Arthur Smith, and now it's it's the bald dude. It's not D'Amico Ryans. Not D'Amico Ryans. He's in Houston. Who's the Houston Texans head coach right now? I can picture his face.
D'Amico Ryans is Houston.
Who's it? He's a former player.
Don't Google. Let's do this.
Okay, fine.
Don't Google.
I could picture his face.
Who was the coach for the Super Bowl? After him?
Quinn. Quinn was the coach for the Super Bowl.
After Quinn, before Arthur Smith.
No. Before Quinn. Who was the coach
Connor
before?
Googled. There's no way Connor knows it's Mike Smith.
Mike Smith. That's what I'm thinking.
Connor,
Mike Smith.
Connor, I said no Googling.
Well, I'm going to Google who's the Falcons coach. Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris is the current Falcons coach. But so they come in with Smith. He drafts Matt Ryan. They're retaining Michael Turner, Tony Gonzalez, right? They go on a couple of playoff runs. They have a couple 13-win seasons. Then it bottoms out a bit. Smith is gone. They have a couple of losing seasons, and then boom, right back. They're back to an 11-win season, a 10-win season, and a Super Bowl appearance. So he was able to, through multiple coaching staffs, kind of have a team that was winning, inherit some pieces, bottom out a little bit, get them back to a winning team. Obviously, he drafted a franchise quarterback. Obviously, he hired Dan Quinn, who hired Kyle Shanahan. So he put together a staff. He got a franchise quarterback and got him a franchise left tackle. I mean, yeah, dude, this guy. I mean, Dimitroff, if you put his resume and you put his entire years, and if he was on the Jets, he'd easily be one of our top 3 general managers in franchise history. So I know there's a low bar, but
That's like saying you're the skinniest girl at a fat bar.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not a high bar to clear being the best of any. Look at Rodgers. We won 5 games, and people are saying it's the best quarterback we've ever had. All right, well, find a way to win then if you're that great.
Yeah, it's
score on the opening drive.
True.
Maybe you get some points before halftime once in a while. I don't know. Crazy stuff.
Could be nice.
I don't know.
We're so washed, man. We couldn't think of Mike Smith or Raheem Morris. We're done, man.
Yeah, we gotta decompress a little bit. But since we're talking head coaches, let's go on to that next. Head coach. Where do you think the Jets land?
My prediction, and it's growing on me more and more. My prediction is that Aaron Glenn is the head coach of the Jets. So Bergonzi Glenn is my pairing, and I think that projecting whether or not a coordinator will be a good head coach is probably the biggest crapshoot in the NFL, even more so than first round draft picks. It is the biggest unknown. So it's, to me, when people say like, oh, he'd be trash, or no, he'd be great. Like, obviously we have opinions. That's the whole thing we're doing here with the podcast, but I'm keeping an open mind with the coaching search. Now, if it's a retread who's freaking sucked, like if it's Ron Rivera who had 6 straight seasons of not making the playoffs, and hasn't had his fastball since 2015, no, I'm not going to be happy about that.
We riot.
Right. But dude, even if it's like Josh McCown, I'm going to be nervous because you're going from quarterback coach to head coach, whatever. But I'm going to keep an open mind if it's a first timer. I don't care if it's a defensive minded or offensive minded. I prefer offense, but Aaron Glenn could end up being a good head coach. You just don't know. We failed in every single way. We failed with defense with Saleh. We failed with offense with Gase. We failed with first timers. We failed with retreads, although Woody has definitely leaned more first timers. So I'm keeping an open mind, man. And I think it's going to be Aaron Glenn. And I'd get on board pretty quickly if it was.
I'll comment on yours first with Glenn. I've said this. I never wanted Don Mattingly to coach the Yankees because I knew I was going to have to end up hating him. And that's how I feel about Aaron Glenn. I know we're going to call for him to be fired at one point. I know we're going to shit talk this man. I know we're going to drag him through the mud. And I don't want that for Aaron Glenn. I don't want that for him here. I would rather, if you love someone, set them free. Like Aaron Glenn, don't do it, man. Don't do it. You know how toxic this fan base is. You know how awful the media is. Don't put yourself through being the head coach of this team. That's out of love for Aaron Glenn. If they get him, I'm going to be happy because he is the Jet. He came up. He was drafted by here. He was a very good player for many years with us. A lot of good memories. He started coaching, started his scout system here, and then, worked his way up to a high-end coordinator. So he's got the drive. He's got the initiative. He's got all the intangibles that you look for as a coach, right? But I love him too much, man. It's almost like I don't want him to get it because it's going to end ugly.
Yeah, I mean, when a guy is first hired or signed here, that's when our opinion of them is at the highest, right? That's when it's all great. You can't say anything bad about him, and then just craters from there.
Dude, we hate everybody. It never ends well. Like, if you love Aaron Glenn as a player, like, would we want Vinny to coach? No, because we know we're going to have to call for Vinny to be fired one day. We know we're going to have to drag Vinny through the mud. We know we're going to question him. We know we're going to critique him. We know we're going to end up hating him. It's a bad thing for a guy that you love to coach the team that you love. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt to tear down someone that you held so highly as a player. Now,
who's your prediction? So we
Not
should
who
start.
I
We should
want.
hire someone we already hate. That way they can only go up.
Like it. Or we hate them. Well, I'm going to give you what I think happens. This is, once again, not what I want.
Okay.
I think it ends up being like a Matt Nagy, an offensive-minded guy, a retread. I will say this about Matt Nagy. He went to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. Would have won playoff games without for the quadruple doinky dink that happened.
Yeah.
But I think that's somebody who might have. I hate him too, guys. I'm not saying I want him. I'm saying
This is what we
think the
need.
Johnsons end up doing. I'm not saying give Nagy the job. I could see the Johnsons and Tannenbaum saying this is the route we should go. He's made the playoffs multiple times. He did it without a high-end quarterback. I could see the presentation of Nagy wowing the Johnsons. I could see being in the room with Andy Reid and learning from him being intriguing to the Johnsons. So, again, not the guy I want, but the guy that I think the Johnsons could be dumb enough to fall for.
Well, also, if they do hire Borgonzi from Kansas City, that could be a connection there. My nightmare scenario.
Up, right? I'll trade you Dimitrov for Borgonzi.
Yeah. Look, I'll say this. He wouldn't be, obviously you're not suggesting it. He wouldn't be, that wouldn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. But I'd take Nagy over Spags. I mean, Spags was he was 11-41 as a head coach. Nagy, I don't know. I assumed his resume would be worse. I'm looking at his record here. 34-31 overall. So he's got a 12-4 season, a 6-11
all time. Top 3 jet coach immediately.
A 6-11 season, and then 2 8-8 seasons. So let's look at his offenses. He's
Trubisky.
I don't know. I had a visceral reaction when I saw his name of like Gase, but I guess his resume isn't as bad as I thought. I don't know, man. There's something about him, and also we need a coach with hair. Another bald guy after Joe Douglas and Saleh. I don't know, man.
Fair. Bowles is bald.
Yeah, it's not good. But I could see it happening. Unfortunately, I do think that Woody would really prefer to not hire another first-time coach, and I think that is reflective in their interviewee crop.
Yeah, there's a good mix.
There's a mix.
It's an interesting group, right? Like Vrabel, Flores, Glenn, Rex, Vance Joseph, Ron Rivera, Jeff Ulbrich, Nagy, Joe Brady, Arthur Smith, Josh McCown, Brian Greasy, Bobby Slowick.
Yeah.
These some of these Bobby Slowick, Brian Greasy, these are like auto-generated names for when you're doing like a draft on Madden and like the next year players come in.
I didn't know Brian Greasy was coaching. I saw his name. I'm
idea.
like, oh, that's interesting.
No
I didn't know
idea.
he was in the league.
No.
What's your take on Flores? Because he's a hot button. People feel really strongly one way or the other on Flores.
I, as a coach, am a disciplinarian. I'm tough on the kids. I like that. And watching what we've watched for the last 15 years here is teams that are unprepared, teams that are not ready coming out of a bye week, teams that line up off sides, teams that constantly false start. And there's never any accountability. There's never any, I don't say retribution, but there's never any lesson learned. They're never coached to not do it. Like, I'm okay with having a guy who's hard-nosed, tough, assertive, being in the head of the room. I don't want your friend coaching the team. I don't want a guy that you go golfing with coaching the team. I want a guy that you're afraid to disappoint. I want a guy that you're afraid, you want to go through a wall for him. You want to win for him because you know he's got your best interest in mind, and you know that everything he says and does is in the best interest of coaching you up to make you a better player, thus making the team better and stronger. I'm okay with Flores. I know people I like a guy who, when he gets told, "Hey, I don't want you to win this game," yeah, F you, we're gonna win a game. You're not telling me to lose. I like that. I respect that.
Yeah, I think that there is. I would put him and Glenn in a similar tier of those high-end defensive coordinators who kind of come across as no nonsense. Which Saleh, I know he had the bravado, but really just I don't think Saleh's personality was a fit to be an NFL head coach. And that's okay. He's a defensive dude. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's going to get a job in 5 seconds. He's going to be rich as hell. Yeah. Beautiful family, like good. Don't got to pour one out for us. So he's going to be fine. But so I think we're in the mindset of like, you almost want to, if you have to overcorrect to the other extreme, you'd almost be willing to do it because you're so sick of, Jeff Ulbrich going to the podium, who was even worse than Saleh with his platitude saying that Hassan Reddick was everything they could have hoped for and more. I'm not even kidding. He actually said that. So now it's like, let's hire somebody who had an antagonistic relationship with his young quarterback. But hey, man, Flores, two winning seasons with Miami, and that was before Tua popped and they added Tyreek Hill and all that. But obviously it is worth noting that McDaniel coming in was what elevated that offense, and his offenses weren't very good. His defenses were pretty solid. In all of his years as a DC and a head coach, he's always had a good defense besides 1 year. And he seems like he's learned a bit from that experience with Tua. There's two sides to that story. So Flores wouldn't, again, I think he's on that similar tier with Aaron Glenn, where
all right, that's fair.
That's where I'd put him. I'd be okay with him or Glenn.
Shout out to the legend and beloved Rick Kent, who's out in LA and saying that the fires are a mile away from him.
Oh, jeez, man.
Rick, keep me posted, man. I don't care what time it is. Just keep me up to date on you, brother. Either in the Discord or text me.
Yeah, those look some of the scariest I've seen. Some of the videos are wild.
I saw one last night on Twitter where people were in their house. It was a glass house, and they were like surrounded by fire. Like,
was that one with the dog in it?
I don't know. I didn't have the volume on because I didn't want to hear it, but I saw it.
It's unbelievable.
So if there was a dog, I didn't hear the dog, but it's horrible shit, man.
Yeah.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. Let's see. Here's a fun one. This doesn't divide the fan base at all. Who's going to be our quarterback next year? Who do you think will quarterback the Jets?
If I had to bet, my prediction would probably be Tyrod because I think he's going to be on. I think he's most likely to be on the roster. I think Aaron will end up, quote unquote, retiring, but really still be a gun for hire if a contending team suffers a QB injury, is I think where he'll be. That's just my guess. If they want to bring back Aaron, cool. If they don't, cool. Like, I'm not that emotionally invested in anymore. The picks are spent. The Jets are not going to be a Super Bowl contender next year, regardless of what they do. So I made a video on there earlier today, kind of going through the pros and cons. I think it's not sufficient to say. I don't know how much you want me to ramble on this, but I think there's two arguments that are a little shallow, which is number one, he's better than the Bryce Petty to Zach Wilson pipeline, so you're crazy to let him go. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a sufficient argument. But we also can't ignore that somebody does have to play quarterback for the Jets next year. Right? Like, so somebody has to do that. And although the team was very, very bad this year, I don't think they're in a position just to say I don't think they're bad enough to say screw it, get rid of everyone and tank for Arch Manning, which we wouldn't even be able to successfully do. Even if we tried, we'd win the last game and somebody else would get that pick.
We'd make the playoffs in a tank year. That's how bad we would be.
Yeah. So if he's one, I guess
have a tremendous season.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess my take on it is if he's willing to take another historic pay cut to make that anvil of a dead cap hit a little bit less in 26, then sure, run it back. But I do think he's been less valuable than the counting stats say. I mean, he's thrown 587 pass attempts, the second most in the NFL. So I know people say he's got the same stat line as Mahomes, and it's like, okay. All right, sure. He has some similar stats to Mahomes. He does. But come on.
Well, let me ask you this as a follow-up then. Give me a percentage. What percentage of you thinks he would be willing to, at this age, learn a new scheme? Or do you think, well, what do you think of it? Do you think he's willing to learn a new scheme? Do you think he's willing to run it? Do you think a new coach comes in and says, we're going to keep you, but you're going to have to learn this scheme? Or do you think he just says, nah, I'm all right, then I'm good, I'll retire?
I think
right?
I think he can be coached. Look, I know him and LaFleur had friction, but at the end of the day, they were doing modern NFL offense things in his MVP season, 4 years ago, 2020 and 2021. The league hasn't changed that much since then. I think the problem with the Jets this year is that they had such inept leadership that Aaron's tendency, I think most good quarterbacks of his ilk's tendency is going to be to keep taking control and taking autonomy until somebody meets him. That's what a coach is for. The Jets had no coach, so he's going to keep doing that. If you have a coach, that's the one thing I think like a Vrabel, although maybe he's out of the question, will be more willing to run it back with Rodgers, because you need somebody. And I don't even think Aaron Rodgers was necessarily overriding directives. I don't think he was being given any. I think
it was a free to upset him situation, right? Like,
right.
Hey, man,
we don't step on any toes. Like Jeff Ulbrich wasn't going to say anything to him.
How about this? Call a run the play.
Yeah.
Like, how easy was it to be on the defense going against the Jets? For example, your defense, I'm Rodgers. I come to the line. I walk up, I look around. I start making all these checks, going down to 4, 3, 2. It's a pass, right? Easy to defend. You know what's coming because I'm changing all the routes. Do you know how maddening it was for me to watch him break the huddle, walk up under center, put his hands down underneath, and I'm just saying, it's a run. Nikki'd be like, how do you know? I go, he didn't change any routes. Yeah. The only time I remember seeing him go up to the line, not change anything, and run the play, and it was a pass, was I was there with Jay Graves, and the Colts game, the play-action rollout to Yeboah for the touchdown. Because you're not going to, you want to make everyone think you're running it there, right? So you're not going to change routes. I think it was 3 tight ends. You had the run formation. Right. You have to be unpredictable. And him wanting comfort took away that from us. I don't know if I'm comfortable with him running it back, because I just don't think he's ever going to let a system be. He's always going to try to be the smartest guy in the room. He's always going to try to manipulate it for his comfort and minimize his interception throwing. You see, every time he throws the middle down the field, it's interception, or it's not as accurate as we're used to seeing, right? He's not good throwing the ball down the middle of the field. And if Garrett Wilson wants to be in a system where you watch all these other receivers get the ball open downfield time and time again, Garrett's gone. And I don't want to give up Garrett for one more year of Rodgers in this hell that we're living.
Well, so I think the Jets made a mistake in assuming that because they had Aaron Rodgers, they didn't need coaching. And players from a rookie to a veteran still need to be coached. Mahomes has Reed. Matt Stafford, he's not as talented as Rodgers in their primes, but I think from a football intellect standpoint, Matt Stafford is probably right up there. And Matt Stafford still has Sean McVay. You still need to be coached. And the Jets weren't coached this year. So I think that, and again, is Rodgers Tom Brady, where he is a culture of winning and excellence unto himself? No, he's not that. Does his shtick get a little old when he's not performing at an MVP level? And he's pointing the finger after he throws a pass off Kenny Yeboah's ass cheek? I'm sure it does. But I still contend
it was the Achilles.
Yeah, but I still contend that we saw Aaron Rodgers be able to mend his offense with competent coaching not that long ago. And again, maybe he doesn't have the physical traits, all that stuff built into it. He's older. He's off of an Achilles. He can't move. But I think a lot of those issues of him, the way the offense was run, what was there because of a complete vacuum of coaching and leadership. I think that, and he is going to fill that vacuum. I think that's what it was. Okay. So if you have now again, if you're a first time offensive minded head coach, do you want that? Probably not. You probably just want somebody who's just going to run your offense exactly as it is. But if somebody comes in here like Flores, like Vrabel, I know it's not going to happen, but like Pete Carroll, who's like a guy that I would like to bring in, even though he's 1,000 years old. I think that is the kind of coach where they'd say, F this, man. You guys couldn't make a kick. You guys couldn't close a fourth quarter league. You guys dropped all these passes.
Score on opening drives. Like right. You had a whole week to prepare, and you couldn't get opening drive points at all.
Right. And so and they'd say, you know what, we're going to be like the Denver Broncos, and we're going to take this and we're going to scratch it out into a wild card team. So I think it would depend on the experience level of the head coach. So it's not to excuse Rodgers, but it is, dude. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger vacuum of leadership than I've on a football team than this Jets team, and I've seen some bad ones, man. I think it was worse than Gase. I think it was worse than Gase this year from a coaching perspective. I truly do.
The problem was we had leaders. You know, you might not like Mosley because he's lost a step, but he was a leader, and he lined everyone up the right way. Sure, Sherwood's faster, right? What Mosley doesn't do, Sherwood does. So everyone likes the new, and they forget about the old very quickly in sports. Tyron Smith was labeled as a leader. All of a sudden, can't block when he gets here. He gets hurt. That leadership's lost. Rodgers, I don't know. Like, everyone raves about him, but I don't know. I loved Aaron Rodgers as a Packer. I called it must-see TV for me when he was playing the quarterback position. I love how he maneuvered. I love how he manipulated the defense. I love how he executed it. Now, I see a guy standing there who's afraid to play the game the way he used to play the game because he knows he can't do it anymore. So he has to audible to all his safe routes to get the ball out because he can't do what made him great. So I don't know if I want to run it back. I don't. Because I don't think a new regime will want to come in, add void years, add financial restraints, and prolong this issue. I think they say we want to get this done right away. Aaron, thank you. If you want to facilitate a trade, go ahead. If you want to release pre-June 1st, whatever. But I just think long-term, the Jets are better off. Sure, he throw 25 touchdowns plus again next year. And what? Right. 5 games again? And now we risk losing Garrett Wilson. There was a comment before from someone that said, were we going to blow Garrett Wilson? Well, we blew Aaron Rodgers this year, and we got 5 wins. So maybe blow somebody else. Hashtag that's what she said.
Yeah, and my prediction is the same as yours. I think that Aaron Rodgers will not be the Jets quarterback next year. I think that I honestly think we're debating this, and then I think it's an interesting debate. My guess is that a new regime isn't even going to think twice about it, to be honest, dude. Yeah. I think it's going to be a non-starter for them if they move on.
I think it's a day one thing. Hey, Aaron, listen. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be for 2025. We just know it's not going to be you. And I think that's what you have to do, and you got to have the balls to do that. So I don't think a new GM is going to want to say, all right, you won 5 games, you had them play for 17, and this is how it looked.
Yeah,
we're good.
They're going to have to sign another veteran though, because right.
Here's the analogy. It would be like that little thing going down to visit the Titanic. The ship sunk. You know it's down there. We're like, let's go check it out. Maybe it's okay. Boom, everybody dies. No, I'm good. Move on from that crap. What was that thing called? That was like the story of like 2023. What was that thing called that went to go down to see the Titanic?
Yeah, that's that submarine that blew up.
Yes. Anyone? What was that mini sub that went down? Come on, you guys.
And didn't it was like run with a PlayStation controller or something?
Ocean Gate, Jay Graves. Fucking superstar, Jay Graves. I love you.
Dude, you couldn't pay me to get into a tin can and go down to the bottom of the ocean, man.
I wouldn't get in it if it was in somebody's driveway on like a boat rack. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm claustrophobic. No way, no how, ever.
It's like my worst nightmare, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine with that. I'll pass. All right. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Last couple of years, Jets have had some crazy things happen. One was trading for Rodgers. Last year, we trade away JFM. Give me the craziest take of something you could see happening this offseason.
Um, I would say the Jets trading up for a quarterback. Because I do think that is a bit out there, just the way this quarterback class is shaping up and where they're picking. But I think maybe a new regime coming in and saying, "Eff it, we're gonna get up into that top 3 to 4, whatever it takes." And I do think if Aller changes his mind, that is going to change up the quarterback landscape pretty significantly. Because I think he'd go top 10. I don't think he's going to make it past 6 quarterback needy teams.
I love Allard. I
Yeah.
think he needs to sit. I think Taylor
Right.
would be the perfect guy to sit behind for a little bit. But I am a very, very big Aller fan, and
Yeah.
I like the size, the speed, the mobility, the agility, the fact that even when he's moving, he's looking to throw it downfield. A lot of good traits that equate to the NFL that you don't have to teach, right? I just don't know if it's going to come out.
No, I don't know. And to be fair, that's not something I don't think there's a quarterback in this class that is worth what it would take to go from where they are to go up and get. But I think that's a prediction that's possible. But now, what do you think about if the Jets were to do that? Let's say it's Aller comes out and let's say he makes it to them. Would you be more enticed to keep Rodgers if you're sitting a younger quarterback behind him, or is that irrelevant to you?
I don't think the timeline matches. I think the decision on Rodgers will be made immediately.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
then
That's true.
Aller might not declare till February. So I just for discussion purposes, I want Rodgers gone. I want the cap gone. I want to get rid of that money immediately so this regime can not have any restraints when they want to build. Rodgers gone, Devontae gone, Conklin gone, Lazard gone. Get all of the dead money gone. Do what Joe Douglas did. Right? This is going to be more difficult for us to deal with because we all thought we had a winner. We thought this team was built to win. So watching these players go that essentially didn't win is somehow going to upset people. But like Bill Parcells said, you are what your record said you are. We're a losing team. We're the 7th worst team in football. So I'm okay letting some of these guys go. My crazy take is 2 of the big 4 from 22 are not on the opening day roster. 2. So between JJ, who I think is here, I think Brees could be gone, and I think either Garrett or Sauce. I think you keep one of them. That's the crazy take. It's not what I want. I know people hear things and they go nuts, but I think that a new regime might say, all right, we're going to move some of these. Say you go to a man press scheme. Sauce don't fit that. He's got spaghetti arms. He can't bump anyone off a route. Every time he tries to bump someone, they run a slant or a drag underneath, and he's chasing the guy from behind, smacking at his arms. So you might not fit what they want to do. Garrett may say, I'm done. So I think 2 of them, of the 4, might not be on opening day roster. That's
I think your take is I've seen a lot of people be in line with that. So it might even be the hot take might even be, and this is my take on that is I think that they will all be back. I think that there will be less. I think when the season was going bad, it's like, oh my gosh, Garrett's gone. Brees, we don't need him. He's a running back. We got to tear this all down. I think they'll all be back. And I think because, well, Jermaine, I think is safe to be back because, he's not due for a contract. You're not going to trade him off of an Achilles. And obviously, if you trade him, you have no run defending edge players at all. So Jermaine, I think, is a safe one to be back. And Garrett, I hope, the Jets can offer him $100 million before anyone else. So if you request a trade, if he makes it really ugly, maybe they comply. Maybe they don't want to deal with that as their first time on the job. But I think that Garrett, that would most likely be the next year because he doesn't have as much leverage as a 4th-year player with a 5th-year option. And then with Sauce, if nothing else, like, look, would I want the Jets to pay Sauce Gardner 4 years, $100 million right now? Hell no. I just wouldn't. And I think it's more of about the position. I think Patrick Surtain is the only corner in the NFL that is worth that kind of money, just the nature of the position. But I also don't want to sell low. He's a two-time first-team All-Pro who's coming off of a down year that I think has been exaggerated how bad he's been. So you hold your stock.
Gruden and Mayock day 1 moved Khalil Mack.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And So
comment.
we could,
Good
yeah.
recall.
You see teams come in and it's not uncommon to come in and shake things up. And then with Brees, I just don't think you're going to get an offer that's enticing enough because, dude, if I'm another team, like if you're another team, Nick, would you give up a second round pick to the Jets for Brees Hall? I wouldn't, and then pay him. I wouldn't. So,
Yeah.
I think he probably stays.
Maybe you give a 3 with incentives. If he rushes
Yeah.
for 1,200, it bumps up. Maybe you do something like that.
Yeah, and you'd be selling him low too, because obviously last year was 4th in scrimmage yards, and this year he was he just wasn't right this year, man. I don't know. He wasn't moving himself. He wasn't moving like himself. He wasn't as
How
elusive
about
this
this
year.
comment? I'm for it. Dan Philcox coming in with a super chat saying, "Cheers to the 2 sexiest men in the business."
I agree. When did they come on?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a link?
Are they backstage? Is it free?
2 guys, 1 team. What are we doing here? Yeah, I like I said, I don't want that to happen, but I can see somebody coming in and saying, "All right, this is how we built it where I came from. This is the plan. We're going to sell off some of the talent now that you might think is overrated." And let's be real, we overrate our players as Jets fans, right? It's in our nature. We all want the next homegrown guy. And the new regime might come in and say, "We're going to build this the right way. You tried building it, didn't work. This is our plan. This is our approach. We're going to get rid of Rodgers on day 1. We're going to eat the money. And now we're going to get rid of Devontae. We're going to wipe the slate clean. We're going to minimize cap in year 2. We're going to have a whole bunch of money, right? Like the Patriots did, $132 million in year 2 open. Now, let's get some assets in here. Instead of having to pay the guys that we have to be high-priced guys before we're ready to win, let's move some of them. Draft. We believe in our abilities to draft. Let's get some pieces in here. Get some high picks and maybe some 2s. We can maneuver. We can move up. We can move back. We can trade for next year if we don't like this draft. And let's just build it our way. I could see that. I could also see them coming in and saying, "All right, you have a lot of talent here. Let's roll with it." So I'm just throwing out different scenarios. I'm not pushing my agenda, but there's a lot of different avenues and routes that we can go with general manager, coach, quarterback, stars. There's no one correct answer, and that's what's crazy.
No, and we'll cope with it, no matter what they do, even if we don't like it at first. We always come around for the most part. Yeah, they're in a weird spot because when Joe Douglas was hired, it was so clear that it was a down to the studs rebuild. There was no debate, right? Once you moved on from Sam, you had a number 2 overall pick, and at the time was regarded as a good quarterback class, and you had no talent on the roster. So it was very clear of what the mission was. But this team, it's like they're so bad this year. They were like 229 net points behind the Bills, behind their division winner, 229 points. It's like, got to find a coach that's worth 229 points, I guess. But at the same time, you look at the roster and it's like, were lots of parts of it overrated? Sure. Were some parts of it just like Tyron Smith, where it's like, dude, you just all of a sudden couldn't play anymore. But it's not a bunch of bumps. Like, he got 4 starters on an offensive line. Garrett Wilson's a wide receiver 1. Brees Hall is a
Completely whiffed on block attempts. Didn't even put his hands on people in some pass protection sets. It was crazy.
Who's that?
He turned into Wayne Hunter. Tyron.
Oh gosh,
Tyron
yeah,
Smith,
he was horrible.
He
was
Wayne
unplayable. Unplayable. It's like you could have told me like Mekhi Becton never left, and I would have believed you.
I'm lagging. Let me refresh. I'll be right back in. Go ahead. All you.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I think we're mistimed. But the problem trading Brees to the Cowboys is that they have to re-sign a lot of guys. Yeah, I don't want to trade Brees because I think that is just selling low. Again, everything has a price. If someone says, "Hey, we'll give you a 2 and a 6 for Brees," then okay, you pack your bags, you draft a new running back in the second round. But I think that Brees, and also how little they seem to feature in the passing game, every swing pass to
Do you
Brees or
think
dump
we'd
off
have
the
to draft a running back?
not
Do you think
necessarily.
we'd have to draft a running back, or do you think? I mean, Allen and Davis would not be a bad 1-2 punch. Maybe you bring a veteran in there to help bring them along. But if I'm trading Brees, I'm okay going with these guys in a bigger role.
Yeah, I mean they were fourth. A lot of teams don't spend premium capital on the running back position, so you wouldn't have to. Yeah, you could just turn around and take that pick and use it on something more valuable. But
Or you get a quarterback who's mobile and can get you some yards on the ground too, which is a popular thing in the NFL these days. So I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I mean, rumors. I read the internet. It's there.
I just have a feeling, and I understand it's like Brees wasn't great this year. He was okay. He was nothing special this season, but I just envision him going to another team and absolutely tearing it up.
Mhm.
I have a hunch that's how it would go.
100%. 100%. I'll tell you exactly what happened. The Ravens will let Derrick Henry go because Derrick Henry was a 1-year deal, or the Packers will move on from Jacobs, and one of them will bring Brees in, and then he'll be an All-Pro for 5 straight years. Because they're going to a good team with a good structure and good coaching that knows how to use their talent.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, man. It's just it's incredible how so many different players just get it being 15, 20, 25% worse than last year. The cumulative effect of that. And I think we're selling some of our stock too low. Brees is interesting because you have to make that decision soon because he doesn't have a 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Sauce is the one I'm holding on to. Interesting. Somebody asked me in one of my streams, they were like, you're really big on Will McDonald being a breakout player. Who do you think is going to be?
You were a little bit on him.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the next year's Will McDonald? And I was like, dude, next year's Will McDonald is Sauce Gardner. that's the funny part.
Give me Tittman.
Yeah.
Give me Tittman with a better offensive line coach. Give me Tittman, the guy that goes to the next level. A guy who's been like middle of the pack. He makes some stupid mistakes. He makes some holds because he's in the wrong position when he gets out wide. There's times he's whiffed or not slid to pass protection to pick up a stun, and it's been like a guy coming right up the middle. Give me Tittman, who just goes to that like Creed Humphrey type of level next year with really good coaching. Like I could talking like elite. Maybe surpass what McDonald did, but you get a good O-line coach in here, and then you got Olu. I mean, AVT for me needs to be better. I don't know. I think a lot of the problems with the run game was how predictable it was when we were going to run the ball because it hurt everybody. It hurt the line with their ability to block. More guys are coming. We're not throwing the ball downfield, so the safeties and the linebackers are constantly playing downhill and attacking. So there's a lot of reasons. I can't just put it on the O-line coach because I think there's a lot of awful dominoes in this row.
Yeah, the run scheme. I think people think of offensive coaching and creativity as your passing offense, but the run scheme just you watch how the 49ers run the ball and it's like poetry. And it just seemed like the Jets had like 4 different run plays. These are we're in it's 4th and 1. We're in shotgun and there's a fullback.
Can we scrap that?
And Braylon Allen. Yeah, Braylon Allen is next to Aaron Rodgers. I wonder what they're gonna do.
Like you're running a play where the running back has no momentum. You're running a play where usually if you're under the center, you can get a full steam ahead where if you get contact, you have a chance to get low and drive the defender back. Now you're waiting for the ball, if it's a perfect snap, waiting for the ball, getting it, and then have to accelerate and start when the defensive line is already accelerated. It's a very, very bad play.
Might as well just do Wildcat and get Rodgers out of there and put an extra blocker in if everybody knows what you're going to do.
Yeah. Let Brees get the snap, go wide, and maybe dump it off to like Garrett, drag it underneath or something.
Even the one they picked up on the last game, even the one they picked up on fourth one of Braylon Allen, it's because he trucked over a defensive tackle and got the first down. The blocking still wasn't there for him.
Yeah.
The one they converted.
Max
Yeah,
Mitchell
it was brutal.
stepping wide and allowing.
He must have thought it was the wrong play, right? He was kicking out like he was in pass pro, and he got beat across his face.
Yeah, because dive and toss or stretch sound identical. It wasn't that loud at Buffalo. That rep made that was the rep that maddened me more than anything else the entire season, and it was in a meaningless game. But to see Max Mitchell at left tackle on that fourth down, step wide, allowing him to get beat on the inside and let that guy hit Braylon and stop him, and then you see the all-22 from behind, and it's like, why would you open up the inside gap? All you have to do is step into the gap and let the guy go around you. And by the time he goes around you, Braylon's already in the hole. But you got beat the one way you can't get beat. I can't wait for Max Mitchell to get off the team, and we can have fun picking on Tigo that day.
Yeah,
that's Tigo's guy. For those of you who don't know, Tigo is called Max Mitchell, his son, with how much he was in love with Max Mitchell when we drafted him.
Well, I think Max Mitchell was a little bit of a folk hero there that rookie year where he looked. I don't know if he looked. Yeah, maybe that just was. I don't know. Our offensive development is so bad. The only players that we've had that are young players that have come in and been successful offensively are first or second round picks that are so talented that they can mitigate the coaching. Where it's like, Brees, here you go, take the ball and run because you're Brees, or Garrett. Tippmann is really impressive because Tippmann had every excuse to suck. He was 21 years old on draft night, coming out of Wisconsin, where he never was in the shotgun. I still think he's more naturally a guard, but whatever, who cares? It comes in, and Keith Carter is his offensive line coach, and they start him as a rookie. So Tippmann, I think that's a good call for Tippmann as your breakout player moving into his third season, because he was solid this year.
We absolutely need it. We need a guy that we can get behind. We need a guy we don't have that. To me, ABT is finesse. Olu is finesse. He's the pass blocker. Like for right tackle, I want a dog. I want 6'4", like his head barely fits in the fucking helmet. Give me like 6'4", 330, where like he constantly needs oxygen, but he's ready to go every play and will drive people 4 or 5 yards back.
Like
Give me a guy that we know we can run behind.
Yeah.
We have so many soft guys on our line, in my opinion.
Our offensive line is finesse. It was Morgan Moses, and then definitely more finesse players. But yeah, I would agree with that. They could use a mauler on the offensive line. Although I'd prefer not to have to use the first round pick to solidify the right tackle position.
Agreed. Normally you get a right tackle in round 2, right?
Right. Yeah. Typically, you got the blind side pegged down. You got 3 other good, solid interior offensive line starters. Like to me, I really think that first round draft pick. I know we haven't had free agency yet, but I'm honing it on the defensive line. I think if one of Mason Graham or Abdul Carter are there,
you can't pass.
To me, that's where I would go right now.
Worst case scenario for me is they're both gone by 7. I'm not even punching air. I'm punching people. If Carter and Graham are both gone, here's my prediction. Here's my not a crazy take, a take to remember. Whoever gets drafted at 6, Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. The guy that we want will get drafted at 6. But at least Aaron Rodgers beat the Dolphins in a game that they didn't even want to play and their players were checking out of. So.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill quasi quit during the game. Yeah, that's my nightmare fuel is that Abdul Carter goes number 6. But yeah, man, this draft class is kind of weak overall because I fired up a simulator the other day just for fun, and when I got to 7, the top 2 quarterbacks were gone. I don't know how people feel about them, but it was like Travis Hunter was gone, Will Johnson, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter. So I was like, do I take like Kelvin Banks or Tet McMillan? I'm like, oh man, I don't like this draft class.
I do like Will Campbell because he can move to guard after Simpson the following year. So There's a little intrigue with that. but I don't know.
That's still
if I
high
want
for a guard, man. That's
I know. He could be tackle year one and then move in year two. So I don't. It's really, really tough. That's why Drew Aller declaring, I think he doesn't go past the Giants. I think the Giants would snatch him up if he's there.
yeah.
But
I think
now
Brian Dable would convince himself he's Josh Allen.
that slides more players down, right? If someone falls in love with a quarterback, and people are going to trade up to get their quarterback. We see it happen every year. We don't know who that guy is yet, but it'll be very interesting to see. I mean, I would trade up for Aller. I would. He's the only one that I would trade up for. I like his size. I don't want to deal with the Sanders family. I don't. That's just me personally. Like, I don't know why Dion is constantly tweeting everything about the Jets. I don't get what that is. Is Dion saying he wants the Jets? Like, is he going to tell? Is Dion going to do what Dion did when he was coming out? Like, the Giants wanted to have an interview with him when he was drafted, when he was in the combine, and he goes, "When do y'all pick?" And I think there were like 7. He goes, "Dion ain't going to be there by 7. Let's go." And he walked out of the Giants like at the combine. So, like, is he going to do some crazy Deion Sanders shit with his kid and say, "Hey, we're not going there. We're not going there." And does he pick the Jets? Does he pick the New York market? The Giants need a quarterback, It's interesting. We're gonna a lot of questions, and as time passes and the tweets come out, we'll have more answers, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, him declaring would help the Jets regardless, right? Because I already like him, and they want to draft him, or I just pushes another position player down closer to them. And a trade back is always, it's easier said than done, because you're like, I don't like any of these guys. Hey, you give me a bunch of stuff for this guy I don't like. It's kind of tough. I mean, we're in a position where, dude, like Tyler Warren could be a conversation for us drafting in the top 10, and he's not only a tight end, but he's not. I mean, he's probably not the level. I know Kyle Pitts didn't work out, but he's not a Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers level prospect. But that might be a fit, because tight end is in a position of dire need. He's well rounded, or like Will Johnson corner. So it's tough. Like, I don't know, Tyler Warren tight end or Will Johnson corner on this January evening. Nick Shine, where would you go? Like, if between those two guys, they're both going to be options. Probably how the board falls.
Is Sauce a Jet?
Yes.
I said earlier before you came in, if we solidify a starting right tackle, a starting D tackle, a starting safety, and another cornerback, I'm okay going tight end, but I need to have those positions solidified. I want more weapons. I went on a rant the other day about how having a weapon who can get open in the middle of the field opens everything on the outside for Garrett. So I'm in favor of that. When you have stone hands and stone legs at tight end, which I want to wipe the slate of the entire tight end room. I don't want any of these guys back next year. I don't care who your dad roots for. That your dad rooting doesn't make you catch and get upfield. I'm done. I'm done with Ruckert. Yeboah, nice story. He's hung around, had injuries. Like, you're not here. Like, wipe the slate clean. So if you're gonna wipe the slate clean, get like a run blocking veteran. Get a guy like a
CJ Uzomah
around, right? Yeah, like like a Jazeki, a Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz. Somebody who bounces around. Doesn't really stay with one team. I'm okay with that, and then you bring in Warren. I'm good. Like, I want playmakers. I want guys who can catch the ball contested. I want guys who can get downfield. I want guys who can get yards after catch. I'm tired of seeing a boring, stagnant offense. I want excitement, and I'm okay. If we get other pieces solidified, I'm 100% okay taking the tight end. Now, it's not the same draft class. So to compare when Bowers got picked to when Pitts got picked to when Warren gets picked, this is a very dull draft class after the top 6, in my opinion, which is why
Pitts went before Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very sometimes you just got to go with the best player available. And if you rate him as the best player available, I'm fine with that. You know, if Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Will Johnson are gone and Drew Aller's gone, take the best player available. If that's a tight end, that's a tight end. You can't do wrong when you're putting great talent on your team.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 75 of you watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. It's free. It helps. If you have a question, maybe I missed it. Super Chat's a great way to get it on air for Buffalo Jet fan. How much longer do we have? You? A few more minutes?
Sure. Let's do one more topic.
All right. Anybody got any good questions you want to fire in there? Go ahead. Who wins the Super Bowl? Non-Jet question.
Oh man. Not the Bills. F them.
Agreed.
Although they probably have the best chance. They probably the best team that they've had in the Allen McDermott era. They were very good this year. But I am a hater, so I will not pick them.
Talking to the king of hate.
Yeah. I think this is the year Detroit makes it through. So I think Detroit will represent the NFC. And I think this is the year that Lamar puts together his playoff. He figures out his playoff demons. So I'll go with the Ravens and the Lions in the Super Bowl. And I'll root for the Lions to win it. Sure, their fans have suffered long enough.
Okay. I am rooting for the Lions to win. I wanted the Bengals to get in. I wanted Burrow to run the gauntlet. I wanted him to knock off Allen, knock off Mahomes, and knock off Lamar. Bang, bang, bang. And then go beat Goff. But I'll root for Detroit.
My Bills fans friends are thinking they're lucky stars that Burrow didn't get in. That's the last thing they wanted.
Yeah.
Him coming to snatch their soul and at home.
It would have been great. It would have been tremendous to see him get in, but they pulled everyone from the active roster the last week in Kansas City. Yeah. So you know what? I'll root against Kansas City for that reason.
Yeah.
But give me the Lions. And you know what? Coaching matters. I'll root for the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
I'll root for the Chargers. Do I think they're going to get there? No. But I'll root for the Chargers and the Lions, both North Carolina baby blue in their uniforms. I can't wear the baby blue of North Carolina because Belichick is at the school. I don't know if you know this, but I am not wearing any of my North Carolina gear, even though he's just coaching football while he's affiliated with the school. I can't. I can't. So if I have to enjoy the color in a different way, give me the Chargers.
I forgot you were a Tar Heels fan.
I am, and it's rough. The story came out today about Belichick that Brady did reach out to him to see if he would be interested in the Raiders job.
I saw that. I don't know, man. I think he might. How old is he? Is he like 72?
I think he's the same as Carroll, or is Carroll's a couple months older than him? I got no interest in that. Like, let's be real with the Jets luck. I'm not going to put a name on the joke, but I don't want to have a funeral for our coach at the stadium because he's so old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have the stadium lined up as a wake. And I don't want this team is going to kill me at 46 young. So I definitely wouldn't want a 70-something-year-old coach.
No, and to sell your soul.
And then our coach has a heart attack. That would be the Jets luck.
No, and selling your soul for the washed version of Belichick, like that would just be the worst. Because there was that. Remember, didn't they? Wasn't there the report that they he wanted to interview with the Jets or something?
Dave's an older gentleman. Sorry, Dave. No disrespect to you. You're out for walks. You're hiking. You're a healthy guy. You're not coaching the Jets. That's what. It's not the age itself. It's if you were coaching the Jets, you would increase your risk of stress. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, specifically the Jets,
and the elder
more so than any other NFL team.
Yeah, the Jets could kill me at 46. Like, it's not an age thing, Dave. Please don't hurt me.
That's why Robert Saleh had to run the stairs. He had to stay. He had to get ahead of it, man. He had to stay tip-top shape to coach the Jets.
Crazy. Question coming in through text. I guess too good for super chats. Kidding. I have to bust this guy's balls. Which head coach and coordinator? He didn't even type the question the right way. I should say who it is. Can you ask him which head coach and coordinators he would want to have as a coaching staff? Any coordinators that you're interested in?
One more time?
I think he's asking the coordinators.
Oh, okay. Oh, coordinators to
it all
okay.
depends on who's the head coach. So, like, if who was your pick for head coach before?
Glenn.
So, if Glenn, who would you expect?
There's actually a good candidate. Let me grab his name again. From the Lions. I think it's the Lions passing game coordinator. Now, if Ben Johnson leaves, he'll probably just get promoted to Lions OC.
Or he'll take him as the OC with him, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So Tanner,
their passing game, man, there are guys wide open all the time, 20 yards downfield. Like it's fun to watch. It's like they're playing Madden on rookie. Everyone's open.
It's unreal. Their offense is so well coached. But Tanner Engstrand is his name, so he could go from passing game coordinator to OC. That'd be similar to when Saleh plucked, LaFleur, because LaFleur was the passing game coordinator in San Fran. I think if it's Flores, McCown.
Was he? He wasn't run game?
Oh, no, he was run game, and McDaniel was passing game. I think that's what it was.
Because Knapp, the coach who tragically passed, was the passing game coordinator, and he was the one that was supposed to be with Zach with every rep, every play.
You're correct. So that's one McCown Flores combo I could see. I think if it's Vrabel, he could pluck the Packers. I think the Packers OC is the name to watch in general because he doesn't call the plays. So sometimes, even though LaFleur could block it, sometimes guys will do their staff a favor and say, "Hey, man, you go ahead and you take that job, and you can call your own plays." So, and what other candidates? So, who else? What about Rex Ryan? Who would be Rex Ryan's OC, Nick? Because I know you love talking Rex Ryan in 2025. Rex Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, baby, in 2025. How many other teams are considering that tandem?
I promise you this right now, all of you. If Rex Ryan gets hired, I promise you all, I will go to Jets camp and I will take my toeless foot out and show him my foot and get the reaction. That will be the only thing I would look forward to during the Rex Ryan regime is him seeing my foot and getting the reaction. That's it. Done.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who do you get? You haven't coached in 8 years. What are you plucking everybody from ESPN? Is Ryan Clark going to be your DB's coach? Like, what are you doing?
Dan Orlovsky
going to be your offensive coordinator, right? We said at the same time. Like, what are you doing? Like, who's your contacts? You going back to Schottenheimer? Like, who's your staff? Who's going to tie themselves to the shit show that is Rex?
I don't know, man. This
is a great comment. Beth Page, Chris, Nick, one press conference and you would be running through walls. And I know I would. And I hate myself for it. For it.
He'd play us like a fiddle, man. We'd be brought back in 2 seconds.
Up everything.
Put us on Hard Knocks again. Speeches.
He would have Brandon Moore and Sanchez at the press conference to reenact the play, and this time we run it successfully, and it's not a butt fumble. He would go down. He would go dig up the football against the Patriots and pop it, or ship it to Vrabel, saying, "We're coming for you."
You know what's funny is, do you know who the best quarterback Rex has ever had is?
The best quarterback he's ever had?
As a head coach? It's probably on our team.
Taylor in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't drink anymore. Thank God I don't drink anymore. Wasn't shit show Rex the last playoff coach? Yes, but the last That's 15 years ago. Amit, and thank you for watching, but that was 15 years ago. The game changes. Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl. Are we bringing out Bill Cowher? No. I would love this name. I'm not going to lie. Josh McCown. I am a fan of Josh, the human being. I'm a fan of Josh, and every story we've ever heard about Josh McCown is how loved he is by his teammates. That's a guy that deserves a shot to get it at the front of the room. And I don't know if it's going to be this coaching cycle. I would not hate that at all. I would actually love the idea of Josh McCown being a head coach with everything we heard with Uncle Josh and taking the young players who were 17, 18 years younger than him, Darnold, under his wing, and now getting back with him. I wouldn't hate it.
I think he's going to be a head coach at some point.
Yeah. He'll be the Dolphins head coach next year when they fire McDaniel and then go on to torment us.
I'm down for McCown. Why not? Like,
I wouldn't hate it.
I'd rather take a shot on an unknown commodity than the Ron Riveras of the world. I'd rather take a shot at an unknown than a failed retread. Personally.
Yeah. That's fair.
Within reason. I'm not saying you gotta hire the assistant running backs coach or whatever, but McCown is a longtime quarterback. He's been an assistant coach for I think he kind of it set him back being a part of that Carolina disaster. I think he was on track to probably get ahead a little bit quicker, but being a part of that staff and that franchise set his career back a little bit. Had to do some repairing now with Kevin O'Connell. So I'm down, man. I'm down for McCown.
Yeah, I like the character. I like the demeanor. I like the composure. He's not the emotional, wear your heart on your sleeve Rex. He seems like he's well thought out, well planned, and I'm okay with that. I need something that's not drama. I need someone who's not about clicks. I need someone who's not about the ESPN for 8 years mentality, right? I'm okay with that. I want someone low key as a coach, but who is smart. Rex is great with defense. I wish to God Rex's ego allowed him to accept the defensive coordinator spot and not divide the team with his personality. Because the first I could see we lose a game 6-3 and he's bitching out the offense and storming in to the press conferences and screaming at the other coaches like his dad did. Like, I wish that Rex was just humble enough and chill enough to be like, you know what? My dad won Super Bowl here as defensive coordinator. I love this team so much. I'll take the defensive coordinator spot. I know I've been out of the game. Maybe I don't deserve the head coach spot. I wish he was humble. I wish he didn't have the ego. And I wish he didn't have the bravado and the persona to be that dick. Like, just, hey, you want to run the defense, dude? You have the defensive room. It's yours. We trust you to run it. I'm going to go run the offense with the offensive coordinator. You got the D. We trust you. And then just do it. Like Spagnuolo has in Kansas City, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure Andy Reid's not going in there and telling Spagnuolo, hey, here's what we should do to free Chris Jones up.
No, Reid has actually joked how he's like, he doesn't even go to defensive
meetings. He might not even know where the
meetings.
defensive meeting room is.
But the thing with Rex is there would still be a learning curve for him to come back to the NFL and be a successful defensive coordinator. I think he could do it, but that would still, like, it'd probably take him a year or two to, the NFL is not the same as it was. He still utters the phrase ground and pound, which in 2025, it's like, makes you want to vomit.
It's like words you hear on the cooking channel. Jake Asman with his super chat of 6 months. Thank you, Jake. Nick Shine and the Buffalo Jet fan are legends. True diehard Jets fans bringing passion, insight, and energy to the fan base like no other. Hell yeah.
Nice. Jake, did you write that with Chat GPT?
Yeah.
That was like very
Jake, he came
articulate.
up with one a couple months ago, and I was like, when I die, I'm like, you got to get in touch with Nikki, and you make sure you write my headstone, please. It was so well done. I couldn't write it myself. I have to pee. I do. I'm diabetic. I have to pee. It happens. I usually play a video when I go. Do you want to hang out, or do you have to
Yeah, I
go?
got you, man. I'll chop it up with the chat.
All right. Have you seen the intro?
Yes, I saw your new intro.
Have you seen the Christmas?
I don't think so.
Oh, buckle up. So I have the private Discord, and Blitz BK, who writes the raps for the show, came up with a video, or came up with a Christmas like Discord party, we call it, the DP. He came up with a song about the Discord parties that we have in there. It's like video chat and stuff. So enjoy.
Hey, Shiners. It's a party. My house. Discord party.
Blitz got beat.
Yo, we at Sean's crib about to turn up. Music bumping, party jumping. Please someone fill my cup. We greet each other Merry Christmas. And plus the Jets suck. While Bobby yells at scandal. Shut the fuck up. Then Gary intervenes and tells them don't be mean. Eat a stick of butter every day and you'll be lean. Then Santa runs off. I hope we left some gifts because Bobby's scared of more. He's on the naughty list. This whole party's lit. Nate Clancy, many more, we hardly fit. And Addison and Weeds bought that Marley spliff. I licked on my lips cause old Jenna G make my heart beat skip. Damn Charles Gorman, was that a fart you ripped? Too much head in you know the hot dogs and chips. Now I want my dip. Tell me where the hell is Santa? He ran so quick. I checked the bathroom and oh shit. With Denmark Andy, Santa, Rudolph. No wonder, Rudolph. Andy, you promised me you wasn't gonna do that no more. Oh my God. Nick is gonna kick us out of here.
You remember Denmark Andy, that whole fiasco, right? Yeah, he's popped up 2 other times on the show. Does not remember ever being on the show at all. So he's committed to the cause. While I was away, little action in the chat.
Nice,
Jake
Jake.
Asman, the Buffalo
Generous.
Jets fans' humor is top tier, sharp, witty, and always good for a laugh.
See?
It's facts. If you don't already, you know, I say this all the time. You are my favorite Twitter account to follow by far. You know, because also I've watched the evolution of you from like your first tweet, your first stream to the icon that you are now on Twitter. And I absolutely think if you are not following the Buffalo Jet fan on Twitter, you are not enjoying Twitter to the fullest. I'm not paid to say that. That is my honest opinion. I've watched him from day one. I think you had like 12 followers on Twitter, and I was one of the first 12. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, you were at like 1,500. Like, holy shit, he just blew up. Like me, Adam, Jeremy, Tigo, Gunny, Dom, you know, the old chat. Oh, I was like, holy shit, he just exploded. And we just watching you be you is so much fun, man. I love it.
It's a good time, man. Lots of friends made. I wish the Jets won more. It'd be like getting to celebrate with you guys would be more
we
fun.
Have good tweets. That's all we need. What kind of fan wants wins, bud?
It's too much to ask for, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get to a game together
Boogie.
too. We haven't been to a game together since home opener 2022, man.
Ravens.
It's been too long. Yeah.
Yeah, Ravens. I'm planning a trip this year. I don't know where. My criteria is once Knicks football season ends, and somewhere between the second week of November and the first week of December, like around anywhere in that window, I'm gonna pick a road game and go to. So,
Let's do it.
you know, I can't take him during his football season. It'll be senior year, so I can't plan a trip then. But it'll be fun. E-Boogie with a super chat. The dream would be general manager John Dorsey, head coach Ben Johnson, OC Tanner Engstrand, DC Rex Ryan. I like the names. I just don't think it's a high percentage of any of those happening. Like I said, I wish Rex didn't have the ego. I wish Rex would say, just put me on the staff to coach the team that I love and let me help in any way that I can. But
Well, he did
has an in him.
interview for the Dallas and Denver DC jobs the last 2 years, but I don't think he'd be DC for the Jets. I don't think he would be an assistant on a Jet staff. I don't think he would do that.
It's tough when you've been at the head of the table in that building to go
it's
back
weird.
and not be in that position.
Yeah,
And
which
I don't
I totally
think he's
understand.
humble enough to accept it. He's not.
What's funny is in 2009 for their opening at head coach, the Jets interviewed Rex Ryan and Steve Spagnuolo. And now in 2025, the Jets are interviewing Rex Ryan and Steve Spagnuolo.
Good Lord, help me. I don't know what to do, man.
I'd hire Rex over Spags. I'll say that. I'd hire him. I'd hire him over Spags. Yeah, I would.
All right. Even though he's been out of the game for 8 years, and maybe Spags has learned from Andy Reid, like
I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe in the offensive to defensive osmosis that we hope
when
that
he was
Saleh
the
got
coach,
from.
I think he had Bradford. I think he was there for Bradford, right?
For 1 year, I think he had 3 seasons in St. Louis. 2 of the 3, he won 2 games or less.
Was he there when they drafted Todd Gurley early in St. Louis? Because
I think he was there before that. I think he was there after he got that job right after the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl in 07-08. So it must have been, I think that was before Gurley. So you're talking, was that Bradford then? Was he there for when they drafted Bradford? I don't even know.
Let me see when
I thought Bradford was before that.
So he was 9, 10, and 11. He was 9, 10, and 11 in with the Rams. So let's go back and let's do this. Rams first round pick. Let's say 9, 10, and 11. Jason Smith, offensive tackle. Sam Bradford, quarterback. Robert Quinn, the end. That's just the first round. I think Gurley was 2015 first round pick, so it was a couple years after. That's still what was that? Was that Trung candidate? Or was that he was earlier? Let's do this. Steve Spagnuolo. I think it's a lock that it's him. I went 1-15. Mark Bolger was 1-7. Kyle Bowler was 0-4. Keith Null was 0-4. Steven Jackson was the running back, ran for 1,400 yards. Receiving yards, nobody. Randy McMichael, Danny Amendola, Keenan Burton, Brandon Gibbs, Donnie Avery. Just atrocious. I mean, it's not like he had talent and he was losing. You know, like those are the names of their offense.
True.
So, I don't know. Do I think he gets it? No, I think he would turn down the Jet offer to stay with Kansas City and coach their defense, though. That's what I said this before we even offered him. I was like, why would he leave that situation for here, knowing that it's going to be short-term, knowing that it'll be a disaster, knowing that there's no quarterback? You literally have the greatest job in the world. You run the defense while Andy Reid runs the offense. Now, is it to maybe use leverage and get more money out of the Chiefs to keep you? That makes sense, right? That's a business move for Spagnuolo.
Yeah,
hey,
I didn't think of that.
Hey, I got an offer. You want to keep me? I'm willing to stay, but we're going to have to redo this contract.
That makes sense. Especially at 65, you figure he would just want to ride out. And then
like you're going to be a Hall of Famer. You're the
Right.
first coordinator to win to win a Super Bowl with multiple teams as the coordinator.
Is that right?
Yeah, he won at DC's, the Giants, and the Chiefs. He's the first coordinator to win multiple Super Bowls with
I didn't
different
know
teams.
All right, man. I got to bounce.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. We will. We'll talk more ball.
Oh, yeah, man. We'll talk soon.
Always,
Thanks for
man.
having me on. Chat. Appreciate it. Hit the
Anytime,
thumbs
brother.
up. You
If
guys are
you
the best.
haven't, go follow the Buffalo Jet fan. Follow his Twitter. It's the best. It's if there was an Asmaniac bracket of the best Twitter accounts, the championship would be you and NYJ Matt, in my opinion.
I'll take it. You think it now? Can I go to my job tomorrow, just like Spagnola, and say, "Hey, Nick Shine said I'm top of Jets Twitter, so
You
should
have
I
it
get
already?
more money?"
I told you this before. Drop my name whenever you want.
Jets is leverage, baby. It's
That's
like
it,
Mike
man.
Vrabel.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
So disappointing. All right, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Buffalo Jet fan. So we are here. I didn't expect him to hang out that long. That was pretty cool. That was nice. I love talking football with him. I could literally talk football with him forever. Forever, ever? Let's see what you guys got to say. Let's drop the link. Let's see who's around. Pin the message. Bloop. That pin? I think it pinned. I did it from my phone. Yes, it's pinned. So the link is there. You got some feedback. You got some ideas. You got some thoughts. You have some critiques. You got some questions. Bring them. Bring them. Let's see what the great chat has to say. 65 likes. If you haven't already, please like the stream. It's free. Don't even have to charge a debit card. You just go bloop, bloop, thumbs up, and everyone's happy. Oh, fuck. I still have to cook. I still have to cook chicken. Fuckity fuck. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up?
Hey, I just want to ask you a quick thing.
Sure.
I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but so I've been trying to figure out more of like coordinators and tandems, like because I don't want it to be something like a head coach and then they just end up picking somebody for them type of shit, which I know that wouldn't happen, but I wanted to get your thoughts on somebody that's not really being talked about, but possibly moving up as an OC because of what he's done over there in Detroit. If the Aaron Glenn thing is a for sure, right? Let's just say that happens. Head coach Mark Brunell as an OC. He's been rocking with golf since his tenure over here with Detroit, learning under Ben Johnson and everything that's been going over there as well. Dan Campbell, the whole nine. So just wanted to get your thoughts and what you think about that.
I'm pulling up his coaching tree now.
It's just been Detroit.
He's the quarterback's coach. It's his fourth season as the quarterback's coach.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting, right? Former player, former quarterback. He made some Pro Bowls as a quarterback. So
I think he helped out Mark Sanchez a little
did.
bit when he was with him. So he has that the newest thing that I'm seeing in the league itself is a lot of like the ex QBs that were really learning behind other people and stuff like that are starting to come out. Like, I mean, look at what's his name over there with the Vikings and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm intrigued by it, but I wanted to get your thoughts in regards to that. So I'm here, bro, but I'm putting the baby to sleep. I wanted to get your thoughts real quick. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no worries, man. If I have a first-time head coach, I would like a little more experience at coordinator. I don't want first-time head coach, first-time defensive coordinator, first-time offensive coordinator, because for me, that just spells potential disaster, right? Uh, I would like a little more experience with the coordinators with a first-time head coach. That's my comfort level, John. That might not be Aaron Glenn's take. He might obviously he's got more knowledge of all the candidates and the people he'd choose than I do. But for my liking, I would like more experience. If you're an experienced head coach like a Vrabel, and you got a guy that you've seen coming up for the last couple of years, you've kept your eye on, you know of his work, I'd have more trust in that pick. But I don't I don't want all newbies everywhere. I don't. So yeah, that's my kind of take with that. Let's say what's up to 25. What's up, bud?
What's going on, Nick? Great show today.
Thank you, bud.
Career day in passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, rushing. I mean, just overall career day from you. Great job.
Oh, thank you. Real quick before you get going, Johnny just set the record for 12 different Jet shows he called into one day. He's done more than 12 in one day, Nate. He's 12 is like a boring day for him.
It's like
I've
a
seen
rookie
him
number.
call into more. Yeah, that's Johnny's in cruise control when he calls into 12. 15, now he's cooking.
So, just a real quick point. I know you said if like you had a Glenn or a first timer in here, you would want an experience at coordinator. But is there like a stipulation where you would want that coordinator to also have been a head coach and to be the assistant to, let's say, a Glenn if he was in here? Because in my opinion, Saleh wasn't atrocious. He was really bad, but I don't think he was awful in all aspects, really looking at him. If he had a seasoned head coach in there to be his assistant, he might have been a little better.
Yeah, he went with Ulbrich, who had no experience running the defense that he wanted to run. And then he went with LaFleur, who, he knew from San Francisco. And I don't think LaFleur was bad. I just think LaFleur rubbed some of the players the wrong way rookie year, and that was just the writing on the wall, right? That the comments, I forget exactly what they were. I think he made them in like October. And then it was just the division, and everyone knew at that point, like it was going to be the writing on the wall. He'd be done after 1 year. So, but I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'd have to see the names. Like, I don't want to paint with a broad brush. I try not to do that. I would have to hear the candidates, review them, see where they've been, see who they've worked under. That would be a really big move the needle thing for me, to see who you've been in the room with. If you've been in the room with Andy Reid for years, that's a lot bigger than being in the room with Hackett, right?
Right.
So your coaching tree and the branches you grew on would matter to me a lot. I can't just say yes to that scenario. I got to know the guy. I got to know
Right.
his path.
Yeah, context definitely matters. So I guess let
100%.
me throw two scenarios at you just to get your thoughts before I get out of here.
Sure.
Aaron Glenn, head coach.
Okay.
If Mike McCarthy gets canned, Mike
No,
McCarthy is OC and assistant head coach. You wouldn't like that?
I don't think he's getting canned because the Bears asked to interview him and the Cowboys denied it.
I just think Jerry Jones is becoming senile and has no idea what he's doing. Like, I don't know if you
Oh,
saw
no,
him.
no. Past tense. Jerry Jones became senile.
Okay,
But
fair.
you're not going to, even if you are senile, the people around you, if you have the opportunity to let a guy go that isn't the answer, and I think everyone knows McCarthy's not the answer, and you can get compensation for it, you do it. Do it in a heartbeat. Hey, yeah, take him off my hands. You deal with this. It hasn't worked here. And now you go find somebody else, right? So I think if he were to get fired, he could get a head coaching job, maybe with the Bears.
Okay.
I don't see him, if he's fired, he can either get a head coaching job or sit out with the head coaching money. Like I don't see him taking an OC job.
Fair. Now, my last scenario, and I've been against this guy as head coach. If he becomes the head coach some way, somehow, it's going to be very hard for me to stay a fan. But Riverboat Ron Rivera.
No.
What would you wouldn't like Rivera as DC and assistant head coach to Glenn? I feel like that's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh,
I mean, I don't.
Okay, head coach, I'm a hard no.
Oh no, absolutely not. That's why I prefaced it by saying that. Yeah.
I like Ron Rivera. I like the character. I like, much respect for, beating leukemia. I think it was that he had.
Some sort of
or
cancer, yeah.
Hodgkin's lymphoma. I forget which form he had. Forgive me. Kudos to him. That's the biggest victory he's ever had. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Glenn, like, I'd have to look more into comparing the schemes and comparing the familiarity with what Glenn runs to what Rivera's been a part of, because that matters to me. Like you don't take a guy who's been 3-4 guy and ask him to run a 4-3. You don't do what you did with Ulbrich. You don't take a defensive coordinator who has no history and you have to spend time teaching your coach what you want with your scheme. You want a guy who is familiar with it. You want a guy who's comfortable with it. You want a guy who knows the ins and outs and the different tweaks and adjustments and the calls to make. And you don't want to be teaching that coach, because what's the point of taking an experienced guy to give him a role he's inexperienced in terms of the familiarity with the scheme? So I'd have to look more into what Rivera's run. I'm not much of a Carolina or Washington viewer.
Right. I'm not even much of a film viewer, and that's a point that I didn't even think about. The last thing you would want is Aaron Glenn to be your head coach and Ron Rivera to be your DC. They run two completely different schemes, and then they're butting heads in the meeting rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it could cause a lot of problems. Something I didn't think about.
Yeah. I think Rivera's a stand-up guy and wouldn't rock the boat, but I also don't think after 2 long coaching stints as a head coach, I don't think he's looking for a coordinator job.
Yeah. But then again, you never know, because if he still has the love for the game and coaching and he's not getting that opportunity anywhere else, he might just settle for a coordinator job. I don't think he has the ego of a Rex Ryan or anything like that. And if there's people still advocating for Rex Ryan as a top 5 candidate, brain rot, brain worm, something. Like he's a relic of the past. He did some good for us, but you can't go back to him. You can't. It would, and you said it perfectly. It would really make me mad because I'm so against it. But the moment he starts speaking, I'm ready. I'm ready to run through a brick wall for him. I'm ready to go to war for him. And I don't think he's going to do that good, being, how removed from the game he is. Like, yeah, he's still fresh with the game, but being an analyst on ESPN, what is it, once or twice a week or whatever he's on, is not the same as being a coach, an assistant coach, or anything in the NFL. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate myself, and I know I don't want him because I don't want to buy into the hype and the bullshit. And I know if we get him, I'm going to buy into the hype and the bullshit. And it's almost like self-preservation at this point, right? Like,
think about me. I'm 25.
Drinking, I'm very self-aware, and I don't want them because I know I'm dumb enough to buy into the quotes.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm 25 years old.
I'm dumb enough.
I'm 25 years old. The only winning coach that I've seen or remembered was Rex Ryan. So for me, it's like the moment he's back, it's just like, oh, I just had sex with that ex that I loved after we were broken up for years, and I'll be back on board. But yeah, that's it for me, Nick. Great show. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Talk soon. All right. I have a nice surprise for you guys. He is here tonight. So, since Boomtown is here and he is watching, I think it would be tremendous for you guys to show off your skills of what did we learn. I learned that Buffalo Jet fan might be my favorite person to talk football with. I've known that, but I'm just telling you guys that now. He's He's right up there. It's so much fun when me and him could just sit and talk. Jetted out with a super chat. Bringing in Tim Tebow says enough about Rex. How about Calvin Pryor? How about Quinton Coples? There's a lot of bad decisions. Yes, we went to 2 AFC championships with Mangini's team. And then as Rex put his imprint on the team, it got worse. So, but thank you for the super chat, Jetted out. I appreciate it. Golston wasn't Rex, Rob. Golston was Mangini, right? Yeah, because Golston was before. Sanchez was Rex's first draft, 09. And Golston was before that because he was 09 was that. And then 010, I think, was Muhammad Wilkerson. No, Rob, the first pick was Sanchez. They traded up from 17 to 5 with Mangini, who went to Cleveland, to get Sanchez at 5. Rex's first draft with Tannenbaum, we only had 3 picks the entire draft. It was Mark Sanchez, Sean Green, and Matt Slauson. A 1, a 3, and a 6. I'm 100% right with that. And Golston was before in the Mangini era. Yeah. Brick and Mangold in 06 was Mangini's first draft. 07 was Revis. 08 was Golston. Let's see. What do we got? Did I miss any? Did I miss any? Jetted out. Got the super chat. Amid, I learned that it doesn't matter what we think. Jets, Jets. Well, damn it, Amid, I can't come on and do a show and say that and just end the show. I appreciate you watching, and thank you for the humor. Clancy, I learned that Nick needs to do more collabs with serious content creators. This was fun. And I'm, of course, a giant Shenanigans fan. But just saying. Clancy, this is part of the rebrand. You know, that's the goal, is to we're always going to have fun on this channel. It's always going to be laughs, but I would like to get into more having a guest on at least one show a week, and if not more than that. So there's some things in the works. Double A with a question. Did Bonesy drop off the face of the earth? I think he's taking a break from YouTube because he did comment on my Facebook post today. So he is around on the interwebs. Joshua with a comment. Head coach Flores, OC McCown. I like it. I like it. I think if I'm ranking my top 3 coaches that I want, I'm taking Vrabel off the table. I said it a couple weeks ago. I don't think he'll choose here. Right now, I put Flores as 1. I mean, I don't want to hate Aaron Glenn, but I know we're going to end up hating Aaron Glenn. But I love Aaron Glenn, so I'll put Aaron Glenn at 2. But I know it's like getting into a relationship with, like, the girl who's your best friend. You want it to work out, but like, damn, if this doesn't work out, you lose your best friend, right? And then I'll put McCown at 3. I really like Josh. I do. But the Jets being the Jets, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Matt Nagy. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets offer it to Joe Brady just to steal him from the Bills. So those are, I don't want Arthur Smith. I don't want Rex. I don't want Ron Rivera. I don't want Jeff Ulbrich. I don't think Rabel wants us. I don't want Nagy, but I'm afraid that they're going to see he made it to the playoffs twice, and that's a good resume considering we don't make the playoffs. And I'm petrified of the Johnsons. I am. That's what she said. Tom Ace, I learned this was a first-class flight show as always. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. Thank you, Rob. What else we got here? Let's see. All right. If that's all you guys have and gals, it is time for the wizard to drop his info. Oh, one last question. Hold on. Does McCown intrigue you enough to hire him as a head coach this cycle over Glenn and Flores? Alan, can I ask you a question? Just give me a little more info. Do Flores and Glenn get head coaching jobs elsewhere? Or are we just picking McCown over them? Did they go elsewhere and we settle on McCown, or choosing McCown over both of them first? I mean, if Flores gets a job somewhere and Glenn gets a job somewhere, I'm okay with McCown. But with what you're saying, it sounds as if taking McCown over them, if they're both available, I don't know if I'd do that. I'd be okay falling back on McCown. I don't know if I would if we're the first team to go and get the head coach. I don't know if I'd be okay with that right off the bat. I might be a little disappointed at that at first, but I'll learn to love it because I do like McCown. I like Glenn. I know Flores has a lot of criticism with him, but I do like Flores. I do like the intrigue of Joe Brady. I love that he's gotten Josh Allen to stop turning the ball over. That's a huge step in Josh's development. Granted, he was already a Pro Bowl type quarterback when Brady got him, but he was able to figure something out that works. So the insight and the innovation I'm a fan of. And knowing that we need a quarterback and we need insight and innovation, I'm intrigued by Brady. So I hope that answers the question. A little more in depth than maybe expected, but I like talking ball. Tom Ace, I learned Nick has enough videos to play while pissing like a racehorse. Yes. MC Mays, Glenn will take this job over other jobs. Fair. With these 3, it's 1 Glenn, 2 McCown, 3. What's up, Barney? Thank you. A little trolling going on in the chat. Never know what's going on in the chat. You guys take on a mind of your own. All right. Oh, Tom Ace. Do we have our hires by this time next week? Today's Wednesday. No. We still didn't get through the first round of hires, and then there'll be second round. I think by this time next week, no. Potentially by next weekend, maybe. I think you could see, because don't forget, there's second rounds of interviews. And if it's Glenn, you can't talk to Glenn for the next couple weeks. You talk to him now during the bye, and then I think you have to wait until they're either eliminated or the bye week for the Super Bowl. So I don't think we get our head coach until February. if it's going to be Glenn. Wild Wave with the question. I like this question stuff. You guys are on point tonight. Are you prepared to hate Glenn? Immediately, no. I'll tell you this, Wild Wave. Let me answer it this way. I will make every excuse to blame everyone else but Aaron Glenn because I will never want to hate Aaron Glenn. I think that's as fair and honest as I can ever answer anything. It's like if Curtis Martin became head coach, right? You wouldn't want to blame Curtis because you love Curtis. Yeah, Alan, I agree with this. What if Woody turns Aaron Glenn into a bum? We're Jet fans. We'll fire him, we'll mourn, and then hope will be restored. But I will root like crazy for Aaron Glenn to succeed and take us to where we want to go. So we are 2 hours, 26 minutes in. You've heard a lot. You've heard the Buffalo Jet fan. You've had a couple callers pop in. You've sat through all of it. And please like the stream. The goal is to get to 100 for every live show. I know we might not get there every time, but if you could help me grow, that's what she said, I would appreciate it, please. So hit the like button on your way out. Let's see where we're at. I know Stack was driving, so he might not have the answer. We're at 70. Come on, not all of you in here liked it. All right. Boomtown, if you would please, so kindly, drop what did you learn today, Boomtown? Let them know, bro. Let them know. Yeah, I mean, tell them. Like, share, subscribe. It's free. That's it. Super chats and gifted memberships are very appreciated. But there's also other ways to help the channel grow. And that's all of them right there. Please, Boom, do it. You don't want Rob yelling at you. There we go. Boom. I learned false start, Nick Shine, not having his mic plugged in, 10-yard penalty, repeat the third down. Repeat the down. Bobby is sick, but not that sick. 3 Penn State players in round 1? Holy moly. Oh. Hold on. All right, there we go. Just caught up. Bonus, February 1st may have an after party for the ages. Buffalo Jet fan may be a diva. ESPN is suddenly agenda-less with their reporting. Nick had some legit nights on Tinder recruiting back in the day. Very good. I knew you were going to get that one. Double bonus, Nick is convinced the Jets are great at blowing quarterbacks. Nick and Buffalo Jet fan will not be visiting the wreck of the Titanic anytime soon. Congrats on being one of the 2 sexiest men alive, Nick. Thank you. Triple bonus, Denmark Andy is committed to the cause. Career day for Nick Shine. Bonesy may have fallen off the face of the earth. It's fair. It's all fair. Real quick, on a personal note, Rick Kent, if you're still watching, I'm going to say a prayer for you, your home, everything around you out there, and hoping for the best for you, my friend. If there's anything that I can do with all you do for this show and other shows, please don't hesitate to reach out. I love you, buddy, and I wish nothing but the best for you. Please be safe. If you got to go far away, go far away. I know, yeah. I just wanted to give you some love, Rick. You're a good dude. And I hate that you and everyone out there is going through this. Much love to you, Rick. You know that. You're my boy, Blue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've reached the hip hop portion of the show. We'll play some songs. We'll mention this guy who I met up with today for a few minutes.
Hey, all you shiners, it's time for something cool. I'm here to do my part. I'll drop a stinky fart. No chicken soup for you. I'm gonna eat it up. And then I'll do a show and talk about the Green Hornet. I got a new laptop. You know it doesn't suck. I'll need to keep it down when I'm making too much noise. My mom will pull the plug and Dennis smack my ass, and that will surely blow. Hey, fuckers, it's time for the Nick Shine Show.
To infinity and beyond!
Welcome, my friends. It's a shine time. Shine time. It's time to talk about the Jets. Don't you know it's shine time? Shine time. It's shine time. Time to be with my friends. Hey, have you seen my toe?
Did you see the Bobby picture? Look at that. He lost like 3 pounds. He looks good now. Yeah.
It's the best quote ever. It's a phenomenal quote. Absolute A+ quote. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, super chatting, gift memberships. I appreciate it. Be back tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. I should have the weight for this week for Bobby. He's going to weigh himself in the morning, send me the picture, and we'll have an update tomorrow night, week 5, Bobby Midnight weight loss. Probably have some information on some more interviews or what interviews went down. So if you want a recap of all things Jets throughout the day, make sure to tune in here. I will tell you this. I do not have Nikki this weekend. So you may have a Friday night stream. I know Nate bitched about having to see my face every day. Screw you, Nate. It's my Cartman. I don't know if I ever broke out my Cartman voice for you guys. Screw you guys. So plan on that. If we got some news on Friday, I'll come on Friday night. It's the time of year where stories will be running rampant, interviews will be running rampant. Oh my God. Why is he still here? He went so long without commenting. This is what I get from what I call friends. One comment, old man oversaturates his product more than the NFL. And the next one, love you, Nick. I love you too now. I'd have it no other way on this channel. I'd have it no other way. You guys are the best. You're almost the best. This guy's the best. It's Blitz. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the Discord. No arguing. Everyone get the fuck along. The whole point of it is to get along with one another. Want to argue? Go to Bobby's show. Good night. God bless. Go Jets. Stay safe, everybody. Especially Addie and Rick out in Cali.
Jets recover the fumble! Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show. The Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime as Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky. Who, me? Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Good evening. Welcome to Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm your host, Nick.
When the blitz comes, there's no one to block him.
It's 10 o'clock, get ready for the showdown. 9 toes down, Nick, ready for the throwdown. We proud Jets fans, we don't play with them pronouns. Best roster in the league, we playing with the pros now. They tell us slow down, call us delusional, call us losers as usual. But this season will be beautiful. Shotgun with you know who, but run it instead. Lad Hall, hit the hole hard.
That's what she said.
Ground and pound like it's 2010. The chat, we got many friends. Johnny wearing hats for super chat and watch him breathe again. Nick put the link so Bobby can call and speak again. Bonesy did the blunt, I got the weed and pens. We speaking green again. Jets news like it's CNN. A-Rod and Charles Gorman, it's like we seeing twins. Feeding tins, pounding on these bleeding fins. Week 14 and 18 when they needing wins. They ain't seeing them. We run the ball and play defense. This is AFC hell where other teams repent. Ladies and gents, welcome to MetLife. This is Jet Life. We bleed green, this our best life. We just nice.
Let's say what's up to everyone. Dark Soldier's here. Johnny's in the house. Bobby. Mr. Bonesy's out on the prowl. Na-na-na-na. Jaden's here. 3 siblings is here. Adirondack Fly Guy's in the house. Sith My Suicide is here. Rob B. Stack's here. Clancy's in the house. The lovely Leanie's in the house. Alan is here. Welcome, Addy. Dave Briggs is here. And Boomtown's the mic drop at the end of the show. He can't be defeated. He can't be stopped.